This is not a rehearsal. Heaven has spoken, and what I am about to share with you will shake you. It's no coincidence that you are seeing this message on the eve of December 5th. This is a divine appointment. You didn't stumble here by chance. You were summoned in this very moment. The same voice that called Samuel in the temple and spoke to Moses from the burning bush has just called your name. You felt it, didn't you? That unrest that jolts you awake at 3 a.m. The heaviness that sits on your shoulders when you should be fast asleep. The suffocating silence in those empty rooms that feels louder than noise ever could. You keep asking yourself why your heart feels so burdened, why sleep has been stolen from you, and why you are hearing these words right now. Listen closely, beloved. The 5th of December is not just another square on a calendar. It's a spiritual threshold, a final warning, the last call before heaven moves in a way this generation has never seen. For weeks, chosen souls across this land have been waking at the same hour, carrying the same unexplained weight, sensing the same electric pressure in the atmosphere. You thought you were isolated in this, but you haven't been walking alone. You are part of a remnant that heaven is preparing for something unprecedented. And here is the truth that will shake you. Why December 5th? Why does this day carry a weight unlike anything in the last 50, 60, or 70 years you've survived? What is heaven asking of you before midnight strikes and this window closes? The enemy has fought relentlessly to keep you away from this moment. Every distraction that pulled you from prayer, every whisper that told you were forgotten, every wave of exhaustion that hit when you tried to draw close to God, this was spiritual warfare. Hell trembles over what you're about to step into. God does not send final warnings to the comfortable. He sends them to the chosen. To the ones who have been tested. To those who walked through fire and refused to kneel, to those who held impossible burdens and somehow kept breathing. If something deep inside you is stirring right now, if something ancient awakens in your chest, speak it aloud and write "I'm ready" as an act of faith. Let heaven and earth witness your agreement with what's coming. To everyone who has prayed, supported, or sown into this message, thank you. You are not simply helping a channel grow. You are helping God's light break into someone's darkness. You are helping orchestrate a divine rescue. And if you know that this message reached you exactly when heaven intended, seal it with 777. It is not a random number. It is confirmation that you are aligned with what is unfolding. Breathe deeply and stay close, because what comes next will either terrify you or transform you. There is no longer a middle ground. The silence ends now. Your final warning begins today. How many nights have you sat in that empty chair where someone you loved once sat, wondering if God forgot your address? How many mornings have you woken in a house so quiet you could hear your heartbeat, and wondered whether your voice still matters in heaven? How long have you carried the crushing weight of divine silence, mistaking it for abandonment? My beloved, your silence was never punishment. It was preparation. Think about the walls of Jericho. For 6 days, Joshua commanded the people to march in silence around those impossible barriers. Imagine the doubt that crept in. Imagine the whispers asking why they weren't fighting or attacking. Yet it wasn't noise that brought the walls crashing down. It was obedience within the silence before the shout. Your empty dining room where children once laughed. Your silent phone that no longer rings like it used to. The conversations that ended when your spouse left this world. That heavy quiet is not God turning away. It is God positioning you for something so immense it requires stillness to receive. Remember Elijah. After calling down fire from heaven and defeating the prophets of Baal, he ran into a cave, broken and begging God to end his life. And scripture says that after the earthquake, after the wind, after the fire, God arrived in a whisper. The breakthrough was hidden inside silence. Your silence has been your training ground. While others lived comfortably, you were enrolled in heaven's school of trust. Every lonely night taught you to depend on God instead of people. Every unanswered prayer forged your faith in the fire. Every private tear became intercession rising before God's throne. You are not abandoned. You are a weapon. Heaven has drawn you back like an arrow, and the further you were pulled, the farther you will fly when God releases you. Yet here is what breaks my heart: some are about to miss their December 5th moment because they believed the lie that their season of purpose has ended. They accepted silence as a destination instead of recognizing it as the launch pad. If you understand now that your silence was preparation, not punishment, declare it right now: I will endure. Let heaven witness that you are ready. Because the silence is about to break, and when it does, the sound will shake both heaven and earth. But first you must understand why December 5th carries a weight that will shape your eternal legacy. This is not another ordinary day in that church pew where you sit alone. This is the day when heaven opens the file with your name on it and asks one last question: will you answer, or will you turn away? Every heartbreak that almost destroyed you, every night you laid awake wondering if God remembered your name, every time a door slammed shut when the breakthrough seemed so close you could almost touch it, none of it was random. Every step of that painful road has led you to this moment. The 5th of December is a dividing line in your story. What you choose now will separate the pain of yesterday from the promise waiting for you tomorrow. This is your Red Sea moment. This is your Jordan River crossing. This is your burning bush encounter, even though it looks like an ordinary Thursday morning. The prophet Joel said that the sun would turn to darkness and the moon to blood before the great and glorious day of the Lord arrives. We are living in that time right now. The signs of heaven aren't coming someday in the distance. They are already here. The shaking isn't something to wait for. It is happening at this very moment. What breaks my heart is knowing that many of God's people will sleep through their divine appointment. They will ignore the feeling in their chest and dismiss the stirring in their spirit as nothing more than nerves or indigestion. They will explain away the restlessness as age or tiredness. They will convince themselves that this is just another message instead of realizing that it is a direct call from the throne room of heaven. Remember what Jesus said in Revelation 3 verse 20, "Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in." But notice this: he never promised that he would keep knocking forever. There is a window. There is a season. There is a moment where heaven moves, and once that moment passes, some doors will close forever. You have been wandering in the wilderness long enough. You have been circling the same mountains for years, waiting and wondering when your breakthrough will come. Just like the Israelites standing at the edge of the promised land, you now have a choice. You can cross over, or you can continue living in the same desert, carrying the same burdens, asking the same questions for another 40 years. This is not just another Thursday, chosen one. This is the final warning before heaven shifts the season forever. This is the moment to step out of all your limitations and step into the limitless future God has prepared for you. So I am asking you, no, I am pleading with you right now, speak it out loud. Declare it with confidence: I choose alignment on the 1st of December. Say it out loud. Write it in the comments. Whisper it into the empty room around you. Claim it like someone who refuses to miss their divine moment. Because what happens next will determine whether the rest of your life becomes a testimony of God's faithfulness or a painful story of opportunities missed. You know what truly breaks my heart? Sitting face to face last month with a 78-year-old woman in Brooklyn. Her hands trembled as she told me her story. She said, "Pastor, I buried my Harold 6 years ago. My children live in 3 different states and call me twice a year. I wake up every morning wondering if God remembers that I'm still here, chosen one." Maybe that sounds like your story too. If it does, listen to me closely. Those empty rooms are not signs that God abandoned you. They are sacred spaces where heaven has been preparing you for something extraordinary. You have carried burdens that would have crushed another soul. You have stood beside graves as they lowered someone who held your whole heart. You felt their hand grow cold in yours and wondered why God allowed them to go while you stayed behind. The silence in your house now is louder than any sound ever could be. You gave everything for your children, working double shifts, sacrificing sleep, going without so they could have the life you dreamed for them. You loved them fiercely, without condition. And now many of them treat you like a stranger, calling only when they need money, visiting only when convenient. That pain cuts deeper than any physical wound, because you didn't just lose family, you lost the future you imagined. You lost the grandchildren you hoped to hold. Holidays became echoes of what family used to be. And your own body, the temple that carried you for decades, feels like it's failing you now. Medications cost more than you once made in a week. Doctors talk over you as if you're invisible. Stairs feel like mountains. Nights stretch endlessly because pain won't let sleep come, and you wonder if this is all that's left for you. But listen carefully, that is not the truth. Every scar on your soul is a mark of heaven's fingerprints. Every line on your face is proof that you survived storms that would have destroyed others. Like rings in the trunk of a tree, your pain testifies to the seasons you endured and overcame. Those hospital rooms where you fought for breath were training grounds where God taught you to rely on His breath instead of your own. Those financial struggles revealed that your real treasure was never money but faith. That loneliness was not punishment, it was separation, removing everything that could interfere with your final assignment. Remember this, Moses was 80 years old when God called him through the burning bush. Sarah was 90 when she carried the impossible. Abraham was 100 when the promise finally came. Your age is not an expiration date. Your age is your divine qualification. If you are still breathing, still believing, still here listening to these words, declare it right now. Say it loud enough to silence every lie, I survived. But survival was never the end goal. Survival was preparation for the powerful move of heaven that is about to be released through your battle-tested faith. There is a lie the enemy has whispered to you for years, especially at 3 a.m. when the house is quiet and your thoughts are loud. You know that voice, the one that tells you that you're too old, your time has passed, your season is over, and God has chosen younger people now. Stop listening to that voice. That is not God. That is the hiss of a defeated serpent trying to convince you to lay down your sword just before the final battle. Heaven's verdict is this: you are not too old, you are too powerful. You are not past your prime, you are standing in your prophetic season. The gray in your hair is not a sign of decline. It is a crown of wisdom that terrifies darkness. When the world puts you in a rocking chair, heaven puts you into position. When society says retire, God says rise. When the enemy whispers finished, God declares just getting started. Those sleepless nights you thought were insomnia were actually heaven keeping you awake because your prayers in the dark hours carry the weight to move mountains. The restlessness you thought was anxiety was actually the Holy Spirit stirring you for your assignment. Think about Daniel. For 21 days he prayed and heaven felt silent. It felt like abandonment. But Daniel 10 verse 12 reveals the truth. From the first day you set your heart to pray, your words were heard, and the answer was already on its way. The silence was not rejection. It was spiritual warfare surrounding your breakthrough. It was never God ignoring Daniel. That silence in his story wasn't abandonment. It was the sound of a war taking place in realms the human eye cannot see, angels and demons locked in a cosmic battle over one man's breakthrough. In the same way, your silence has never been punishment. You, chosen one, have been standing in the center of warfare. Every quiet night when you sat in the dark wondering if God had forgotten your address, heaven was engaged in fierce conflict for your destiny. Every moment you felt unseen, heaven was moving pieces into place like a master chess player preparing for checkmate against the kingdom of darkness. What makes hell tremble in the early hours of the morning isn't the volume of your prayers. It's your silent communion with God when you sit awake at 3 a.m., not knowing why sleep escapes you. Hell shakes when a chosen soul sits quietly with God, because that silence is the womb where miracles are formed. Where destinies begin to breathe, and where the impossible starts turning into the inevitable. You belong to the generation that heaven trusts with this final hour. You are the ones who have been forged in fire, refined in storms, and strengthened by scars that now tell stories of survival. If something inside you recognizes these words, whisper to yourself right now, "That's me," because your spirit already knows the truth. The reason the enemy has worked so hard to silence you, discourage you, and convince you that you do not matter is because the 5th of December holds something that heaven has been preparing over many silent years. This day is the moment when everything that felt like loss is revealed as foundation. This is when heaven unveils what all your quiet endurance has been building toward. For decades, the enemy has tried to feed you one of the cruelest lies. He has whispered into the most exhausted corners of your heart that your best days are behind you, that your purpose was buried along with your dreams, that after 65, 70, or 80 years of life, you are just waiting for time to finish counting down. He has tried to convince you that you are simply passing days until heaven calls you home. That is a lie straight from the pit of hell. Hear what the enemy never wanted you to remember. Every major prophet in Scripture stepped into their greatest assignment in the later chapters of their life. Moses was 80 when the burning bush called him. Anna was 84 when she proclaimed the Messiah in the temple. Abraham was 100 when Isaac was born. Your wrinkles are not signs of decline, they are engravings of wisdom. Your slower steps do not reveal weakness, they reveal a steady heart that has learned not to rush ahead of God. And here is where heaven's mathematics will shake you to your core. In Isaiah 61 verse 3, God promises beauty for ashes, joy for mourning, and praise for heaviness. That's not beautiful language for poetic effect. That is God's business model. God never returns what was lost in equal measure. He multiplies it beyond recognition. Every tear you shed while staring at the empty chair where your husband once sat is about to water seeds of restoration in someone else's marriage. Every night you lay awake praying that your children would one day call is about to become a healing balm for other parents who feel forgotten. Every financial struggle that forced you to trust God for daily provision is about to become the testimony that unlocks breakthrough for families drowning in fear and debt. You thought your pain was punishment, but heaven recorded every moment as preparation. While the world shakes, while systems crumble, while families fracture and faith dries up in the streets, God is setting you as a cornerstone for what He is rebuilding. While younger generations drown in anxiety, you've learned where to cast your cares. While many build unstable futures on sand, you've built your foundation on the rock. This is your moment, warrior. The 5th of December is not the end. It is your beginning. It is not retirement. It is recognition. Stand where you are, lift your hands toward heaven, and declare with the strength of someone who survived every storm, I receive my exchange, beauty for ashes, joy for mourning, purpose for pain. Say it loudly. Let the walls hear it. Let the angels write it down. Because what God is preparing to release through your surrendered life will transform everything you believed about your remaining years. But before you step into it, you must understand what the 5th of December is unlocking over your bloodline. As we come close to the end of this sacred journey, carry these truths into this divine day and beyond. Your age is not a countdown to completion. It is the activation code for heaven's greatest work in your life. The world may say your best days are behind you, but heaven announces that your most powerful chapter begins now. Moses did not part the Red Sea at 30. He did so at 80. Anna did not proclaim the Messiah in her youth. She did so in her 80s. Your silver hair is a crown, not a burden. Every hardship you endured was preparation, not punishment. That heartbreak that nearly destroyed you taught you the difference between love that fades and love that is eternal. That financial collapse proved that your security does not come from earthly banks but from heaven's supply. That frightening diagnosis revealed the foundation of your hope. Nothing was wasted. Every tear became an investment in someone else's breakthrough. And the silence you walked through was never abandonment. It was preparation for the loudest testimony of your lifetime. Know this deeply, not just in your mind, but in your bones. You are not alone. Even when your house feels empty, even when the phone stays quiet, even when you wonder if anyone remembers your name, the God who counts every hair on your head is orchestrating every detail of your miracle. And beyond God standing with you, you have a family here. Look at the comments flowing like rivers of hope. Feel the hearts connecting across oceans and generations. Sense the spirits aligned in the same hunger for purpose. We are not strangers on screens. We are warriors in the same battle, carrying the same hope, believing for the same breakthrough. Share what God whispered to your heart. Speak what you're believing for in this season of divine exchange. Ask for prayer. This family will lift you with intercession that moves mountains. And if someone comes to your mind who feels forgotten or finished, send this message their way. Let it become a lifeline. And when you look in the mirror tomorrow morning, don't see someone marking time, waiting for heaven to take them home. See the warrior that hell couldn't break. See the authority that only comes through surviving fire.